Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Right guys, I've finally done it. I finally made my MFT style drop down rail. Look at that. After all that time. For those of you who've been following the channel since the early days, it's been one of the few projects that I've been wanting to get done for such a long time. And it's after a year and a bit now, I've actually done it. Now before I get started, I just want to put it out there that this design wasn't my idea. I had a similar idea which I'll explain in a moment, but I found a video on YouTube by a YouTuber called Conkcat, which I'll leave a link to his channel below. I'm not going to take any credit for this design. Like I said, I had a similar idea, but until I saw his, I was like, ah, yeah, that's clever. So full credits to Conkcat. Right, so how this works is this rail here is attached down into two of these hinges, and then it drops down like so, and then locks in to this aluminium angle bracket. So here's a bit of MDF, 18mm. Push up against the guide rail like so, against this back fence even, and then as we lift the rail up, which is on a double hinge, so as it goes down, you then push it back or push it down like so, and you get a nice tight snug fit to your piece of sheet material. Now under this end, which you have to sort of pull to a side and lift up, and that'll work down on 9mm. And we even goes far down as some 5mm board. It's a little bit gappy at the further end, but I'll explain. Oh, there you go. No, it isn't. So down to 5mm. This is just a bit of 5mm sheet, so it's a bit flexible. Right, so let's show you how I made it. So guys, for today's arts and craft, you're going to need a guide rail, two sets of fire door hinges, and some common sense. No, but seriously, so yeah, what I have here is basically all you really need, and it will sort of help if you've got some welding skills, but there are other ways to do it. So my first idea when designing this was to have a hinge on the back end of this so that it folded over onto the work material that I was using. But I can't, when I was planning it, I thought, well, to do that, if I have a bit of 18mm MDF there, it's not going to sit flat, it's going to pivot on the corner. But then I thought to have a bit of 18mm sheet material on that side of it, so it was always sitting up 18mm, and then when it dropped down it laid flat, which it would do. But then I thought, what about other sheet sizes? What if I step down, go to a 15mm or a 12mm or a 9mm? It's always going to have that pivoting thing. So I was having a look on YouTube, trying to see if I could find something, which is when I found Conkcat's video, where he came up with that idea. So when I saw that video, it all made sense. just to have two hinges together like so, that fold one way down and then up the other way to keep it to keep the rail vertical. Now, I originally tried this with some galvanized butt hinges, but they're not that great. They're just not very, they're quite loose, quite flappy. So I switched over to fire door hinges, which are a lot more stiffer, and it's nicer when the rail drops down. So what you do is you get two hinges, and you have one that way and the other one that way. And now I've welded through the screw points on here. If you haven't got a welder, you can do it with pot rivets, but I find it's a little bit it moves around a bit. So if you can weld. If not, just allow for it when you're setting up your rail that you've got it square. So yeah, you can see up in the video in this corner if I've done it right. Me welding these together, and I've literally just done it on these points. Here's one I did earlier. So as you can see, it's there. I welded there, and just tacked it there. But I realised I actually made this one wrong, and I've done it the same way, so I had to do another one. So guys, don't do that. So once you've made your hinge up, guys, what you want to do is you want to set the hinge up against this little bit of aluminium here that runs down here. Once you trim this bit of foam back, it actually sits bang up against it and actually stops any sort of movement. Then what you want to do is drill through each one of these holes. Now, just to make you clear, like this rail is different to a rail you might have, but they've got these little, it sort of channels in from there to there, and again underneath the rail slide thing there. So when you do it, you want to make sure you get your pop rivets, which is the next step, in line with this bit, and I'll explain why in a minute. So just to show you better, as you can see, the pot rivets go through this side, and then they sit just below, can't know if you'll see this, below this little groove that comes along here. This one just popped up through, so if you can try and focus, if you can just grind them down a little bit. This one went a little bit too far, but it should hold okay still. And then that's how you connect that to the rail. When you come to attach it to your bench, what you need to do is set these hinges inside of the bench. So as you can see in this video in the corner, I had to router out this section. It isn't very neat because it was a bit of a tight one. I should have pulled the bench out really to get it neater. But with the plate on my router, it wouldn't let me in as far, so it was a bit messy. I went a bit freehand on it. But once it's in there, it sits below, and you just screw that down into your bench, and that secures it. So when it came to the locking of the rail so it stays square, I bought this aluminium extrusion, and I did come up with an idea where I was going to make an adjustable plate that come up and down for the rail to slot onto, and then I rushed it a little bit, so I had these angle brackets that I bought a while back, and I thought that's about 18mm, which it's exactly 18mm, as you can see. So if I drop that down there, and they've got these little nubs on this side, so when you come to drop a rail down, it locks in there. Let's just move that in, and sits over the nub, and then you can't actually lift it up. So obviously, to get this all square, I've got the bench dogs rail at the back there, and then what I did, obviously I've got an MFT style bench, with the holes in. So I'll put a dog in this end. I drop the rail down. And as you can see, that is tight. There's nothing there whatsoever. And now that is perfectly square all the way across. So once I take that out, I don't need it there anymore. And I know that won't move. I get an accurate cut every time. Right, that's pretty much it, guys. Just one more thing before I finish up. With the pop rivets, if you don't have them low enough, as you slide the track along, you're going to hit them at this end. Now I've got my table set up so that when it goes all the way, it hits the wall, and that will do a full cut over a sheet. If any, you could obviously make it so you've got a bit more space, depending. I've done it just so I can always cut through a sheet from this point to this point, but that's just down to preference. So that is my take on a DIY style MFT drop down hinge rail. I think I've covered everything. If I've missed anything, or if you have any questions, just pop them below. I hope you enjoyed the video. It's one of those ones that's been a long time coming, so I hope you take from it what you can and you learn something from it, because that's what YouTube's all about, really. If you enjoyed it, give us a like. If you didn't, don't. Subscribe if you want to subscribe to the channel. If you don't, don't. But if you do, I'll catch you in the next video. Ta-da!